Hey guys, it's the Lady Laughs a Lot. It's Barbara, and I'm sitting outside on this glorious August morning because I have a story to share with you.
Am I scary? Am I scary?
I had no idea that this fun day back in May would lead to a 3-woman collaboration where 29 people would show up to meet and pet the alpacas, but also be led in painting tote bags with an alpaca on it and some lavender plants, led by me as the instructor. I had no idea back in May that that's what would happen. So if you're new to my channel, I am an artist, but I'm also a caregiver for my Marine veteran husband. I love using my art skills to bring joy to others, but sometimes it's hard to balance that passion for creativity with the anxieties that build up with being a caregiver. So I want to share this story about the alpacas, not only because they're so darn cute, but it's also a story of how I put my self-care tools into practice. And I always believe that if I can share, maybe there's something in what I'm saying that might be helpful for you. You see, my friend and I, we are both spouses to Marine veteran husbands who were active duty in the Vietnam War. So as caregivers, we like to find respite for ourselves. We like to be able to get a break, but we like to do it local. We want to feel comfortable that we can leave the house and yet still be close enough to be home in a hurry, if need be. The Paradise Lavender Farm meets all the criteria for us, and they have such fun events. So it was during this one occasion when we were painting the mason jars. It was a small group, my friend and myself, the owner of the farm, and another couple who, ironically, the husband of this young couple is a Marine. Just love when the universe pulls the right people together at the right time. So we were all very comfortable with one another. Well, during this event, painting these mason jars, all of a sudden I kind of felt my anxiety building up. Not really a panic attack, but that feeling when the heart is a flutter and I feel like my body's really trembling, but I'm sure from the outside nobody can see it. And I used my tools to get very present because around me there was nothing wrong, right? Take deep breaths, focus in the now, be very present with what I was painting, and there is no threat. We were in a safe environment and nobody around me was hostile. We were laughing and having a good time. So I had a conversation with my anxiety, like, what is up? What's going on with you? This is what I figured out. The artist inside me, the creative power in me was like jumping up and down like, hey, can you hear me? Like, we're having an awesome time being here in this event, painting as a spectator painting. But God, I really want to be that person instructing. Come on, put yourself out there, be an instructor. Oh, okay. But I have to really ask, can I do that? Is that something that logistically can I do as a caregiver? And the answer came back, well, if you can sit here and be a participant, what would be the difference of you taking the time to go to an event, but you're the instructor? So it got to a moment while we were painting these mason jars where everyone was deep into what they were doing and it was quiet. My brain was still kind of pros and cons. Should I put myself out there? Mouth dry, maybe a little metallic. So I did ask Linda, the owner of the Lavender Farm, and I even prefaced my question or statement like this. I said, you know, I have to say I'm a little afraid to put this out there, but I want you to know I am an artist. And if you ever needed help with any of your events, I would actually be interested in helping out. Well, I don't know what came over me. That inner me just spoke up, and I heard myself say, you know, Linda, if you want to reach out to the alpaca farm and see if they want to bring alpacas here, if you can get the alpacas here, I would be happy to be your instructor and we could do some sort of creative painting event for your participants. Where did that come from? I guess if we're jumping in with both feet. So I went with the flow. I thought I was going to be walking around with this handheld easel and painting as I walked around the tables the way they were set up. I didn't want to be at the head. I wanted to be a wandering artist and be right there with each table. And it just worked out better. I eventually took one of these bags. I took one of my sample alpaca bags and I had it over my head. And I was able to explain how we got to the end product, and I took them along the stages from the background all the way to the detail. And receiving the feedback was very pleasant. It was very satisfying for me. Since I had introduced myself in the beginning as being a caregiver and this being my first event that I've instructed at in over a few years, there was a group of women at one table who took the time to share with me. The one woman's husband is a veteran of Desert Storm, and she could relate to being a caregiver. And she was able to share some of her story with me and also to let me know how I had put them at ease. There was one woman there who didn't speak English. She was the mother in the group and she spoke Russian, and the daughter helped translate what I was saying. And I was told this was her first painting event and she did not know what she was going to be able to accomplish. And she was so pleased with how her bag turned out in the end. It's just amazing what a group of people can accomplish when we bring ourselves together. So I want to share this one paragraph that I wrote. I do my best to be spontaneous in sharing my story, using a script as a guide, but this one paragraph I feel like is well written for myself, and I want to get it right. So I left the event feeling inspired and renewed. It was so great to see so many people come together to enjoy art, animals, and each other's company. It was also a reminder that even though being a caregiver can be challenging, it's also giving me life skills that puts life in perspective. There is joy to be had and a conversation about releasing the guilt of finding joy for yourself while caring for someone who isn't having the best time with life right now. Some of us just need to sit with that. It's okay for a caregiver to feel joy, even when you're watching someone you love maybe not experiencing joy at the moment. So I am so humbled that one question that I was brave enough to ask back in June co-created this event. Shouting out to Karina and Tom from Windy Haven Alpaca Farm, and shouting out to Linda and her staff at the Lavender Farm. It just goes to show, as a reminder, that we're not in this alone. And I am grateful that we were able to come together to create something bigger than ourselves that impacted the 29 people that participated and the staff involved in making it happen. So if you are a caregiver, I want to encourage you to find the respite care that you need, whatever that looks like for you. If you are a veteran caregiver, I want you to know that there is a national caregiver support line that you should be able to call. I will make sure that the number is visible. If not on the screen, I'll put it in the description down below. Caregiving is a journey, and you don't have to do it alone. And if you can find the respite, go find an event that calls to you. It certainly doesn't have to be painting, but go look at community centers or any farms that you might have near you, and look for something where you can sit, even if it's for a couple of hours. Maybe for you, it just looks like sitting at a cafe or going to a library, just someplace where you can take a deep breath and celebrate you, because what you're doing is amazing, and you are beautiful, and you are worthy of support and love and celebration. All right, caregivers, I love you. And my creator friends and family, thank you for watching. I hope you had fun watching the alpacas. The information for both farms are in the description. If you're local, I encourage you to go. They are fun venues. All right, guys, love you. Mwah. Laugh at life's colorful blessings. Laugh a lot.